Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what happens when the narcissist ages. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So throughout the years, the term the aging narcissist has been used not only by me, but by many other people. And that's what the narcissist becomes. They become the aging narcissist. That's not a play on words. It is what actually consumes them. There is misinformation out there in the ethos, in the world, saying that the narcissist actually improves as they get older, saying that the narcissist's worst days are when they're younger, maybe in their late teens or 20s, and that when they get to be their 30s and older, they actually improve and they lay off the gas pedal of abuse. That is not true. You need to understand, if you were in the narcissistic relationship for a day, a week, a month, a year, your lifetime until right now, that the relationship always got worse. It always deteriorated. Why do you think that was? It wasn't because the narcissist was laying off the gas pedal of abuse, but yet Father Time kept ticking on. No, it was because they were taking more and more from you. They were getting more and more toxic. They were becoming more and more sloppy with their mask, more complacent with their mask. They were mocking you, mimicking you, spying on you, stalking you, abusing you, financially, emotionally, maybe physically, spiritually, mentally, every way possible. So the misinformation that's out there in the ethos saying that the narcissist's worst days for them, for their toxicity level, if you will, it's when they're in their late teens or 20s, that is not true. Not even for a moment. Think about something. As people age, usually one of a few things happens. One, we get wisdom and we want to improve our circumstances, our life, our mindset, and our relationships. And that's what I've done. Or two, you figure out shortcuts or angles on how to abuse and manipulate people and how to fine-tune your skill set, how to fine-tune your craft of toxicity. And that's what the narcissist does. So I'm going to say this and then I'm going to really dive into the video as the thumbnail is mentioning. Please be cautious with the content you are consuming. The narcissist gets worse. They do not miraculously improve. They don't have an aha moment or a light bulb moment saying, wow, I really did this wrong. I really did abuse somebody. I really parental alienated somebody. I really counter-parented instead of co-parented. I really gained the system and drug out the law, the divorce and the custody, and I stole crypto and stole money and hid it, but I want to be a better person. No, they don't do that. They're not going to do that. So I'm going to tell you again, be very careful with the content you're consuming. Not everything is how it appears to be, and there's misinformation everywhere. There's misdirection everywhere. There's manipulation everywhere. And that's only talking not only exclusively about the narcissist, but about a lot of people. Really understand what you are consuming. Consume information or content that serves you, that improves your mindset, that helps you to heal, that answers the questions that you may have, that continues to help you progress on the path of healing. Don't consume content that is negative. Don't consume content that is going to misdirect you and give you false hope that the narcissist actually gets better over time. They don't get better. And if you think for 1 minute that the narcissist in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s, and up, if you think they're going to be contrite, have an active contrition, be accountable, introspect, and own up to all that they've done, you've got another thing coming. You need to know, if you haven't learned this by now, you will eventually. These people, the narcissists, they're sinking ships. They're ticking time bombs. They're walking cyclones of abuse, and they know what they're doing. They put the same clothes on as you do. They breathe the same air. But much, and I mean much, misinformation is being placed out there in the ethos. When I say ethos, I'm just referring to the interwebs and social media and all that. And some of it is saying that the younger the narcissist is, that their worst days are behind them. That's not true. Not even complete, not even 1/1,000,000th accurate. They get worse over time. Think about this. Think about if you figured out some shortcuts on how to get through life. Think about if you had the ability to gaze into someone's eyes and see if they could love you, or if they did love you, or if they were telling you the truth or not. And your intentions were ill will. You had bad intentions, but it worked 10 years ago or 20 years ago. In other words, you got somebody caught up in the trauma bond. You broke their heart. You stole their money, their time, their kids' health, and everything else. And then you discarded them. And then what did you do? Well, you got bored and jaded, and the money wasn't enough, and breaking that person's life wasn't enough, and stealing everything from them wasn't enough. You had to do it again. So what did you do? You put on a new mask, and you went out searching for a new target. And that's how the narcissist finds husband or wife number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and more. And no, I'm not saying that anyone who's been married more than one time is a narcissist. That is not what I'm saying. You can see that I'm getting emotional here because you need to understand something. This is the test of your life. You need to consume content that serves you, that benefits you, from somebody who lived in the cycle, from someone who was trapped in the cycle and who made it out in one piece right here. Now, having said all those things, what happens as the narcissist ages? I shared it with you earlier. They become the aging narcissist. Their looks begin to fade, more wrinkles show up, the grays appear. They fumble through their words. They're trying to learn a new lexicon of present day. They're watching shows that are trying to blend in with pop culture. They're trying to assimilate themselves with what's going on today, and they're trying to stay relevant. The narcissist won't stay relevant anywhere other than in their tiny little brain. And that's why the narcissist keeps multiple people on the hook, multiple people stuck thinking about them, pining for them, wondering who they are, where they are, who they're with, and what they're doing. When you didn't have the wisdom, you were one of those people. You were the unpaid helper. You were the indentured servant. You were the walking apology. You were the person being peppered with abuse day in and day out because you weren't taught this in school. So how could you know that you were being abused? You didn't. I didn't either. Once you get the wisdom, the light bulb goes on, you understand what you were up against, and that person intentionally, deliberately, and on purpose and methodically try to blow up your life. Just like they had blown up other people's lives before they met you. But with you, it's different. Yes, did they steal things from you? Absolutely they did. They took your time, your relationships, maybe some of your money and other things. But you can replace some of those things, not all of them. But remember, when you went to university, you had to pay tuition. Unless you got a full ride and you were an Einstein or something, but you most likely had to pay tuition. Well, tuition is the cost of admittance to the university or college to go to school and to get the degree. Unfortunately, your admission was your experience in the narcissistic relationship. You see, that was the key that unlocked all this for you. You didn't want to go through the narcissistic abusive cycle. I didn't either, but I did, and I'm here paying it forward each and every day, creating videos. But the price of admission was every second you were tethered to the narcissist. Every second you were paying a price. You were paying multiple prices. And as that relationship went on, the narcissist did not improve. They got worse and worse and worse. So this is the last time I'll say it, maybe one more time before I close the video. People all over the globe are misdirecting other people. People are misinforming other people. People are saying that they know what they're talking about, specifically when it comes to toxic relationships, when they have no business doing it because they weren't in a toxic relationship, specifically a narcissistic abusive cycle. Now you may say, well, no, the people I'm working with are talking to and they have been. Okay, well, that's great. Maybe they are different. Maybe they're similar to you, or maybe they're similar to me. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon claiming that they were abused by the narcissist and they're misdirecting people. And a lot of other people are saying that when the narcissist was younger, they were the worst days. That's not true at all. When the narcissist was younger, they didn't have the money they have now. They didn't have the voluptuousness of their body, or they didn't have the bulky body if it was a guy. They didn't have the experience from abusing other people. They didn't know that what they know now, because the narcissist is learning just like you're learning. They're learning just like I'm learning. The thing is, they're learning something different. They're learning how to fine-tune their skill set and their craft of manipulation. What we are learning, the people who are healing or who have healed, is that we need to have boundaries in place. We need to go no contact and block these parasites, delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them, if not now, when. So what happens to the narcissist as they age? They fall apart. They get sloppy. They become irrelevant. They really, really become unhinged. They have more and more narcissistic injuries. They have more and more narcissistic collapses. Fewer and fewer people want anything to do with them. More people become awakened and aware. More people become educated and empowered. More people close doors of communication to these toxic parasites. The narcissist has very few places to hide these days. They can continue to run. and they can continue to change their passport and cut their hair or grow their hair or dye their hair or change their clothes or learn a new language or join that latest hot yoga class or join this seminar or teach this class or whatever. They try to blend in with society. And what they want to do is get as close as they possibly can to a target, which was me and it was you. And once they get close, then they want to begin to extract. That's when the dirty fangs come out. They get inserted in that person, and slowly over time, that person loses everything that meant anything to them. Again, that was me and that was you. And all the things you lost, you know that they were taken from you. It's not like you went in the middle of the ocean and you had your money clip with $100 in it and maybe your smartphone, and a wave hit you and the boat capsized or flipped over or something, or the kayak, and then you lost your phone and your money. Well, you can replace the phone, you can replace the money. See what I'm saying? The narcissist, that was an accident, the example I just shared. What the narcissist does, they do it on purpose. They want to inflict damage. They don't want people being repaired. They don't want people healing. They don't want people seeing behind the mask, and they don't want people going no contact. And remember this, whatever the narcissist wants, you should want the opposite. If they are saying something or did say something to you, there was always a hook. There was always a catch. This is why with the narcissist, it's bizarro world. What is black is white, what is up is down, what is in is out. And that's why what happens to the narcissist as they age, they get worse, they deteriorate, they fumble through life, they fumble through directions. This is why the narcissist is always on the go. This is why they're always visiting alleged former relationships, maybe siblings they haven't talked to in 10, 20, 30 years. This is why the narcissist pops up at their parents' when the parents have an illness, even though they've been ostracized from the family, but they'll swoop in because they know that, let's say it's your mom or dad who's ailing and maybe they don't have a long time to live. Well, the narcissist, what are they going to do? First of all, they're going to go back to the house where they were raised, where the parent is, and act like they're the best kid of the year, even though the narcissist now is the adult child of the parent who's ill, and maybe the narcissist is now in their 50s, and they've never accomplished anything in life other than stealing from other people, but now they go home and they act like they really care about the parent, and the parent perhaps doesn't even know what narcissism is, and says, wow, they're finally back, the prodigal son, or the prodigal daughter, whatever it is, they're here, they actually care about me, and they're going to support me and they're going to be here for me. Well, not so fast, mom or dad. What's happening there is the narcissist could easily misdirect anything and they could expedite your demise. Sorry to say it, but it's what these parasites do. They don't care about you. They never did. They care about your money, and they care about the illusion, and they care about what people say during the funeral and the wake and the obituary, and they care about getting the house and having you sign the deed over to them and the house. They don't care about human beings. That illustration I just shared with you, it's truer than true. I hear it more often than I care to. And this is an example of how the narcissist gets worse over time. They don't get better. They can't, and they know it. So all this misinformation that's out there saying that no, the narcissist is usually worse when they're younger, and over time they get better and they realize that they want to improve and they want to become a better person and an upstanding citizen and do the right thing. That's all bullocks. It's all nonsense. It's all words that need to be thrown out the window. This is misdirection. And if you think for a moment that anything you read on the interweb or anything you read or take in a seminar or a class or anything, that all of it is true, it's not. You need to be able to read between the lines. You need to be able to use your discernment, and you need to be able to sift through the noise and hear the signal. The signal is right here on this channel. The signal is me telling you, sharing with you each and every day my experiences, my wisdom, and letting you know that what happens to the narcissist as they age, they get worse. They don't miraculously change. They will never change. They will go down on their deathbed blaming anybody they possibly can, hoarding money, hoarding assets, hoarding people's time, and not being accountable because they know what they've done, but they'll never let you know it. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And these woods really got cleaned out, meaning thinned out. The forestry department did a remarkable job. Last year it was covered with foliage, and I loved it last year, but I like it this way as well. But that's why it's a little bit brighter, even though the sun, we lost an hour of sun last week or the week before. Before I close the video, I'll share this. Really be careful with the content you're consuming, whether it's written, oral, video, email, book, whatever it is. Make sure that you understand if something seems off, then it probably is. And not everybody knows everything about everything, specifically when it comes to toxic relationships. We've all been through them, meaning if you made it this far in the video, maybe you are at the pinnacle of the mountaintop of indifference like I am. Maybe you're working to get there. Maybe this is the first video you're consuming. Whatever it is, understand that where you are on the journey is where you are supposed to be, even though maybe you don't want to be there. I was there at one point. But when you get to that mountaintop, that pinnacle of indifference, you will stay there and you will realize that there's misinformation, misdirection, misrepresentation, and manipulation scoured and scattered all over the planet, and it doesn't only come at the hands of the narcissist. So pay attention, hear the signal through the sound. I love you all, God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. And the poison ivy, it's still there. It's almost cleared up, but it wasn't fun having poison ivy on my face, but I'm getting better. Thank you. I love you all. Bye.